Yo, what's up, guys? This is the L7C bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. If you've been watching these episodes, you know how these go. We're just going to hop in and play whoever pops up and see how that goes. While we're waiting for our opponent, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're pumping out Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels at least once a day. We're trying to do once a day. We're pumping out our podcast, the L7C podcast, where we talk about sports, anime, pop culture, movies, you name it. We talk about anything on there. We have such a diverse group of people that we just talk a whole bunch of things. So check that out too. There's a playlist for the episodes if you want to listen to them on YouTube, and they're available on any station that your podcast can be listened to. We played Naruto, Boruto, Shinobi Strikers on this channel. We haven't put any. We got Marvel's Avengers coming for the channel. We got a whole bunch of games coming that we're going to be uploading to the channel. Just some guys just having some fun, going through the struggles that everyone goes through in video games, where you're just getting stuck and where you're fighting online and things don't go your way, or things do go your way. We post the good and the bad in here. We got nothing to hide. This guy, we're just waiting forever for him to click in. We're just like, no, we're leaving. Like, I don't know what's taking him so long. So then we hop into this guy, and he is ready to go as soon as we go. And his name is, oh my god, I'm bad at this game. And usually people named that are not bad at this game. So we get to go first. And our hand is okay. Nothing too crazy. We summon the Photon Advancer, special summon the Vanisher, do Vanisher's effect to get Galaxy Eyes. Then we do Soldier's effect to send Galaxy Eyes to the grave, and we're waiting for our opponent if he wants to activate something. So that means we know he has something in his hand that he can activate, so we're very wary of that. We haven't summoned 5 times, so it's not Nibiru, but it's probably an Ash Blossom, a Ghost Ogre, an Effect Veiler, an Imperm, one of those things, or maybe even a Gamma. So then we have to be very careful. We realized when we got Galaxy Knight, we've already normal summoned, so we lost that effect. We weren't thinking there. So then we go into the Starliege right here. It's asking if we want a special summon. And we're like, no. We actually should have clicked yes there, so that we could have got the Soul Flare, but it's okay. Then we end turn. We played a little scared there because of the hand trap. We didn't know what it was. We could have special summoned Photon Advancer again, made the Link monster. So that's something else. And maybe we shouldn't even have gone into that rank. Maybe we should have went into the Lord Galaxion, so that we could have got a Galaxy Eyes. He's playing Salamangreats with the Flame Buffalo going off, the Link going off. So I'm like, ugh. And there's nothing I could really... Oh, it's asking if I want to, once per opponent's turn, I get special summon Galaxy Eyes from my Banisher graveyard. It's asking me if I want to do that. I'm like, no. So then we're waiting still, because this is just a Salamangreat deck, so he's doing all the things that Salamangreats do. Plays the Signet Mining. Shout out to Lost Tins of Memories for reprinting that again to make it cheaper for normal players. Does the DD Crow. He discarded that, so I'm like, oh, so that's what he had in his hand. So I'm going to bring back the Galaxy Eyes. And then he is like, I don't think so, bud. He does DD Crow on my Galaxy Eyes, and I'm like, shoot. That pushes me back a lot. Sure, there's 2 more in the deck, but I don't know if I'm going to get to those 2 by the time I need them. So I'm like, oh man, that one is banished. So now we realize what he had in his hand. He had 2 DD Crows. So he could have banished all the things in our graveyard if he wanted to. So he's just going, doing Salamangreat things. Got the field spell, got the continuous spell in the back. And then we do the Link reincarnation. So then he gets the effect, gets to add the rage. So then he sets 2 So we know one's Rage, we know the other one's Roar, and he goes into battle phase. He attacks that, which I was confused. Then he plays this card I've never seen before. I had to look at it. I was like, what is this snake? Prophet Snake, damage stub, helps Cyverse link monsters. And I'm like, huh, I have never seen this card before. I don't even know if the card's out. And I'm like, okay. What I should have done here, actually, I should have just turned my Galaxy Soldier into attack and just attacked into it so I wouldn't have to worry about the roars and the rage. But I did not do that, so that's a misplay on my part because I already knew they were set. That's what Salamangreats search. So I'm like, oh boy, okay. So with my misplay, so then he plays one of the traps, he plays the rage, and then he targets the Salamangreats, and then I lose both my monsters, and I'm like, well, shoot. And I'm like, I'm reading through rage, seeing if there's any other effects I need to worry about. And I'm like, okay, I'll play Galaxy Trance, pay the 2,000 to get a monster back from my grave. And then he plays the Rage, which I knew he had the Rage, but I had to just get it out of there, so I end turn. So now I'm in a bad spot. He has field presence. I have a Galaxy Eyes in my hand and a Photon Advancer in my hand. So there's nothing I can do right now. So, and he's just doing his Salamangreat things. And you're just like, man, sometimes things just don't go your way in Yu-Gi-Oh! You make a misplay, and then the whole game just goes in a completely different direction. If I would have just flipped my soldier into attack mode and attacked his Link, this would have been different. If I would have just... I didn't know he had DD Crow. You never know what hand traps your opponents have, but if I would have just maybe got Galaxy Eyes earlier, maybe he would have been on the field, because Salamangreats are a very, very good deck, but they lack general attack power. That's why they have to rely on things like an Appaloosa, a Boral Sword, or a access code talker to really have the power. So then he makes Heat Leo here. And I'm just sitting here, I was like, man, I only have 6,000 life points. I have nothing on the field. I don't think I can do anything. So if he just attacks for 6k, that's game. So then we're waiting to see. Then he does Heat. Then he goes into access code talker. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So then he has 5,300. He attacks me directly. I'm at 700. And then ends turn. I'm looking at my hand. I'm like, this really sucks. So then I draw Photon Thrasher. A lot of people would have quit here, but I don't really believe in quitting. I believe in fighting through. If you lose, you lose. At least you learn something. Just don't quit. I hate when people just quit on Nexus. So I go Thrasher. Then I go into Advancer. I could have summoned Galaxy Eyes here. I did not. I actually went for a card that people don't use a lot. Star Liege. Do his effect to detach 2 to make access code talkers attack 0, negate his effect. So then I attack that, and he loses 2,000. I'm pretty sure in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm going to lose this duel because I was just so far behind on my own mistakes. But at least I'm going to fight back. So then he activates the field spell, brings back Heat Leo, does reincarnation to Heat Leo again, and then he does that. And sets his back row all over again. Flips the Rage. I already knew what Rage did because they already messed me up last time. And then I get to draw a card because of that. But then he Ash Blossoms. He gives no shot of having me have a comeback. Depending on... I wish I would have known what I would have gotten from the Ash Blossom. Obviously, I'm going to know because of the card I draw next. But I would have had an extra card. So maybe that would have help me out in this situation, but you never know. That's the point of the game, especially in the hand trap big board era, as I call it. So then I draw. It's a lost win. That's why I was wondering if I would have got the draw. I would have gotten the lost win anyway, but would have been my next draw. So the writing's on the wall that I am taking the L in this one, which is fine. I mean, you can't win every game. There was some mistakes I made during that game. I activate lost wins just for the giggles. But he takes me out. Salamangreats winning over the Galaxy deck.